his house ain't a home and he's losing sleep. Wife cold as steel, vibe off track. Ask me how the hell to get his edge back.
What's going on, guys? Yes, I am live on a Tuesday. This is going to be a normal thing going forward. As long as you guys keep sending emails in and keep sponsoring these videos, we'll keep this going. I got my first sponsored video here. We'll keep it anonymous. We're going to call this guy Mike, and we'll just get right into it. So the subject line was, I need real advice. My marriage is dying, and I don't know where to start. And he says, hey, Paul, I've been following your stuff for a while, and honestly, I never thought I'd be the guy writing one of these emails. But here I am. My name's Mike. I'm 42, married for almost 14 years, and I feel like my marriage is slipping through my fingers. Just call me Mike. I need to keep myself anonymous. No need to put that in your email, guys. I'm going to keep you anonymous. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So he says, here's my situation. My wife and I used to have a strong connection. The passion was there. The sex was amazing. And I felt like she genuinely admired me. But over the last couple of years, things have changed. Sex is basically non-existent now. Maybe once every couple of months if I'm lucky. I've asked her what's wrong, but she just says she's tired or not in the mood. Meanwhile, I'm climbing the walls over here. Does that sound familiar? Anybody out there? Any of you married guys out there? Is this something that you've heard before? I'm tired. I'm not in the mood. Well, yeah, brother. She says she's tired, but we all know that's not necessarily true. It's like in the beginning of the relationship, she was probably tired too, but she had that genuine desire. So she was still ready to do it. You know what I mean? Like she still was excited to do it, especially brand new in a relationship when the passion's high, right? So, but the thing is, like, when you ask her what's wrong, of course she's not going to be straight with you if she thinks that you're going to fly off the handle. And when she tells you the real truth, that she's just not attracted to you anymore, she knows that's going to hurt your feelings, right? And women are hardwired to want to spare our feelings. That's why when you go and ask a girl out, she just doesn't tell you that she's not interested. She gives you some song and dance, or maybe she'll even give you a number and then blow you off later, or she'll agree to a date and then flake on you later. It's because women want to spare our feelings and they're not good about giving it to us straight. And that's mainly because we as men have trained them that we don't handle that very well, right? So can you imagine if you haven't worked on your mental frame, if your wife says, look, I'm just not that attracted to you anymore, what that would do to you? Like you would get pissed at that, right? You would find that insulting. That's what most guys would do. So that might be going on. It's hard to tell in some of these emails, right? So I'm sort of like reading in between the lines. So it's either that or she's trying to hint, or she's been trying to hint at what she wants from you, and you've just been oblivious towards it, right? So she's just resolved to just say she's tired and give you some kind of lame excuse. That's a big thing that happens too, where she's been trying for months or years. There's something that you're doing that she doesn't like. She won't come out and just say it because she wants you to get it, right? She wants you to understand her hints. Women would do so much better if they just told us what they want. But deep down, the thing is that women, they expect us to just get it. That's where, like, we're not mind readers comes in, because they do expect us to be mind readers. But it's not really that. It's not that they expect us to be mind readers. They expect us to pay attention to what they're doing. And they'll hint at stuff. They'll drop little suggestions. They'll sort of, in a back way, tell you something, and you're just not getting it. But women are just not direct. They just don't communicate directly. That's why when people say it's the key to a healthy relationship is communication, well, oftentimes women are terrible communicators. They hint at things, but that's not communication. That's a guessing game, right? So women are terrible at that. And if you understand that and know where they're coming from, it's less annoying. I mean, it's still annoying, but it's less annoying. But getting mad at that is like getting mad at a pickup truck for not being able to take corners like a Ferrari. You know what I mean? Like they're just not wired for that. Okay. So so of course, most men don't get it, which is what frustrates us. But having them having to tell you how to be a man also is something that frustrates her, right? If she has to tell you what her needs are, basically what she feels is that you're not the right man for her because you just don't get her. Okay. Now, it's not logical. It's not logical at all, but that's how women operate. Okay. We're talking about feels over reals here. Women operate on their feelings and emotions. It's not a logical process. So she feels like she has to directly come out and be overt and tell you something. She's already checked out at this point. And some women will, like, they will overtly tell you exactly what they want, but that is a last resort. That means that they are so frustrated right now that they have no choice but to talk like a man, right? So he goes on. He says, what's really killing me is how distant she's become. She's irritable, always on her phone. And lately, I feel more like a roommate than a husband. I try to help out more around the house. I listen when she complains about work, and I do whatever I can to take things off her plate. But it feels like nothing makes a difference. The more I try, the further she pulls away, and I'm starting to feel invisible. A lot of guys do this sort of thing, right? Does this sound like anything that you've ever done before? Does this sound like something that you're going through right now? A lot of guys do this sort of thing, right? They sort of resort to chore play and they try to manage her emotions. So for one, guys, chore play ends up being one big covert contract oftentimes. And you're only doing it to try to get something from her, right? That's what a covert contract is. And when she doesn't give you what you're expecting, you get frustrated and that builds resentment. It's a whole thing. It's certainly not sexy. Okay. Despite the blue pill propaganda you see on TV or on TikTok about guys, mopping the floor and doing, I'm just trying to, get my wife in the mood. So I'm doing some mopping. I'm folding some laundry. That doesn't actually get women in the mood. Don't believe the nonsense. That's not true. Another thing, besides chore play being nonsense, another thing you have to understand is that you can't manage her emotions, bro. You cannot own her emotions and how she's feeling. You can't do that. Okay. You can offer to listen to what's eating at her, right? Like maybe she's snippy about you not taking out the trash or something. You can say, "Hey, honey, look, I know it's not about the trash. Something's eating at you. What's eating at you, babe?" Right? But the thing is that a lot of guys, because they can't have the baby maker upset, they can't have her upset at any cost, right? Happy wife, happy life. They start walking around in eggshells. They keep pressing the situation. Like, no, honey, tell me what's wrong. No, just something's bothering you. Just tell me, right? Well, when you do that, the more you press it, it becomes needy validation seeking behavior, which turns her off even more, which pushes her further away. Okay. A lot of the stuff that I teach is very counterintuitive. It goes against, the whatever society tells you to do. Oh, just keep chasing her. Just communication. Just communicate more. Okay. Like, don't press it. All right. She needs space. One of the things I learned years ago, I like to use this cable for that. It's plugged in here. Let me unplug this. In order for attraction to be in a relationship, there needs to be a little bit of tension. And you can think of it like a line, right? There needs to be a little bit of tension in the relationship. I call it heat, right? Healthy emotional anticipation and tension. The thing is when there's a lack of tension in the relationship and you start building a lot of comfort, the line starts going slack. And what women instinctively do in order to try to initiate more of that tension in the relationship is they'll pull back a little bit. So when she's kind of being quiet and irritable and, she doesn't want your time, she's pulling away. So what do most guys do? They go chasing after her to try to fix it, which keeps that line slack. Okay. What you need to do to better create that tension is when she pulls back a little bit, you pull back too. Okay. So you offer to listen to what's eating at her, but when she's like, I don't want to talk about it or whatever, just be like, okay, cool. And then you treat it with indifference and you pull back too a little bit. Okay. So if she's in a pissy mood the next time, offer to listen to what's eating at her. But then, and then if she does want to open up, because sometimes she does want to talk about it, right? Use the Luca model. Okay. Luca stands for listen, understand, clarity, action. I learned that from my good friend, Paul Benjamin, from Apex Mindset, but I wrote about it in Get Her to Fuck You Again. I explain what Luca is. It stands for listen, understand, clarity, action. It's a way for you to have a conversation with your wife and really get to the bottom of what's eating at her without falling into the trap of explaining yourself and defending yourself and rationalizing why you do what you do. Because whatever you did that pissed her off, it doesn't matter. Okay. Because you're the king. You're the king of this relationship. You don't have to explain yourself to your subjects. It sounds toxic as hell, but you'll understand that if you're always explaining yourself and rationalizing or whatever, you're actually putting her at a one above position from you in the relationship. And that actually causes her to lose attraction because hypergamy needs you to be above her in some way. Okay. I talk about that a lot. So Luca allows you to actually communicate from a position of authority and actually get to the bottom of what's eating at her. And sometimes women just need to emote, right? So sometimes that action, so listen, understand, clarity, action. Sometimes that action step is just to listen to her and just make her feel heard and understood. You don't actually have to do anything. It's a pretty wonderful thing, right? So use Luca if she does want to open up, but if she doesn't want to open up, shrug it off, bro. Shrug it off with indifference. Okay. Go find something to do. You don't have to own her emotions. You don't have to own her moods. In fact, she doesn't want you to climb on her emotional roller coaster. You as the man, she wants you to keep your feet on the ground. She needs to know that her moods don't impact you as much. Okay. And right now they probably do because you probably haven't worked on your mental frame as much. But once you work on your mental frame, you stop owning her emotions. You treat this sort of thing with indifference. Be like, okay, cool. Well, I'm going to go to the gym, or I'm going to go and work on some spreadsheets or whatever it is that you can do. Go find something to do, but let her know like, hey, look, if you change your mind, I'll be right over here. Okay. Like you don't get mad at her. You don't climb on her emotional roller coaster. Like I said, you just treat it with indifference. Like, okay, well, you're upset. Clearly I'm going to be over here. If you want to talk about it, offers on the table, and then you walk away. Okay. And that goes back to this. When she pulls back, you pull back too, and you're creating this tension. Okay. But you want to let her come to you with that validation seeking. Because if you go chasing after her, trying to squash all the tension and squash her emotions, you're actually the one that's seeking validation, which is unattractive behavior, which pushes her further away. You follow? It's kind of counterintuitive, but once you do it enough, it starts to make sense, especially when you start seeing how your wife starts behaving differently. Okay. So he continues on with, I've read about the no contact rule and I'm honestly scared to try it. I'm afraid if I back off, she'll just get even more distant or start thinking about leaving. I know I'm not supposed to beg, but I don't want to just let things fall apart either. It's a weird place to be. I want to fix things, but I don't know if I should stay or if it's already too late. Well, first of all, brother, the no contact rule is really designed for breakups. If you're still married to her and she's just kind of being irritable, you don't go no contact. Okay. That's a funny one. That's the first time that's ever come up. And think about this, right? If you apply the no contact rule in your marriage, you're basically just stonewalling her, which also is unattractive behavior. You don't want to stonewall your wife. Okay. And this is why you shouldn't get your advice from Reels or TikToks. All right. Tune into the full podcast episodes. We go into depth on this kind of shit. All right. The problem with all these, the too long didn't read generation is they're getting all their fucking relationship advice from TikToks and Reels. And it's like, dude, you're getting sound bites. All right. You need the full playbook. All right. So forget fucking no contact. You're married still. Okay. He says, on top of all this, my confidence is shot. I look in the mirror and barely recognize the guy staring back. I used to be in shape, driven, excited about life. Now I'm tired all the time, putting on weight and stuck in this rut of self-doubt. I've been thinking maybe I'm just not cut out for marriage, or maybe I lost my edge for good. Brother, you need to snap out of that one. You need to snap out of that one because getting your fitness back is the first thing you need to start working on if you want to fix this stuff. There's a reason why we're in the space. We're very big on hit the gym, bro. Like, go to the gym, bro. Okay. Your issue is an attraction issue. Your issue is an attraction issue. You're just not blowing her skirt up anymore, brother. That's it. You're not blowing her skirt up anymore. Okay. And you just rolling over and giving up, that is also unattractive behavior. You're compounding the problem. Okay. You're just going to exacerbate things if you roll over and give up. All right. You need to develop some discipline about your fitness and your diet, and you need to do it because you know you need to do it. You can't just wait until you feel like doing it. Okay. This is something you have to snap out of this shit and make it a priority. I know you're tired. You probably work all day. I don't have time for the gym. You need to make time for the gym. Okay. We're all tired. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. Okay. If you don't know where to start, because a lot of guys have never even been taught how to work out. They don't know how to exercise. They think, and I can't afford a gym membership. You don't need a gym membership. All right. I'm going to drop a link here. I do have a very inexpensive fitness course. If you guys don't know how to work out, this is perfect for you. It's like $25. Go to fit.comeonmanpod.com. I don't advertise it that much, but I dropped a link in the chat. If you don't know where to begin on getting back in shape and working out, this is the perfect place to start. Okay. There's only 4 exercises you need, and you don't really need any equipment. So grab that. The link's in the chat there. And then he says, I don't want to give up on my marriage, but I also don't want to spend another year feeling like this. If you could only give me one piece of advice to start turning things around, what would it be? Is there actually hope for a guy in my situation, or is it time to walk away and focus on rebuilding myself for the next chapter? Well, we have a saying in the space, brother. The stay plan is the same as the go plan. Okay. So whether you decide that she's not right for you and you want to leave, you need to start working on this stuff now, because working on the stuff that I talk about is going to help you, one, back on the dating circuit, because you're out of shape. You're not going to get a lot of dates. You're not going to be able to replace your wife very quickly, as much as you might think that you can. Okay. You've probably been out of, how long were you married again? 14 years, married almost 14 years. You're 42. Okay. If you don't work on this stuff now, even if you divorce her, you're going to flounder on the fucking dating circuit. You know how I know? Because I was 50 pounds overweight back in 2014 when I got divorced. I floundered for 11 months on the dating circuit. Just fucking, like, I hadn't had practice in 15 years. I didn't know what I was doing. It was a whole new world. I hadn't practiced dating in 15 at that point. It was nuts. Okay. If you don't work on this stuff, you are going to flounder on the dating circuit, then you're going to end up hating women. And it's really a skill issue. It's not that women suck. Okay. I don't care what toxic red pill stuff you tune into. Okay. My red pill channel is based off of the praxeology. It's not based off of rage bait, although rage bait does get clicks. So you need to work on this stuff now, whether you stay with her or not. Okay. End of story. You have the stay plan is the same as the go plan. Okay. So, where were we at? Oh, I scrolled up. So the best advice I can give you if you want to start turning things around is grab my book, right? Get Her to Fuck You Again. And then also grab the accompanying workbook that goes with it. Okay. I'll drop links here in the chat, but you can find them both on Amazon. But here's the link to the book on Amazon. You can also grab at that same link, you can grab the audio version of that. And then I'll drop a link to the workbook too. They're meant to go hand in hand. Okay. And if it was me and I was doing this, I would listen to the audiobook on repeat And then in the mornings, I would do the journal, or even at the end of the day if you want. But just it's like 10 minutes a day. And there's prompts. There's like 3 prompts a day. It'll take you 10 minutes to do it. But all this kind of stuff will help you work on your mental frame, work on your mindset, work on better communication skills with your wife. I know I always say communication is not the key to a healthy relationship, but it is the key to conflict resolution. So when there's conflict in your relationship, it does behoove you to have good communication skills and be able to lead her through that communication. Okay, because she probably has shitty communication skills too. But if you learn this stuff, you can lead her through that communication and better resolve some of that conflict. Okay, so get both of those things. That will probably be your best bet. And then when you're ready, I would say book a call with me. If you've been working on that for a while, you're still not making headway, book a call. Okay. I'll drop a link in the chat there, and just know that I do charge for that call, but it's fully refundable if you decide to go forward with my full program. Okay. It's really just to keep out the tire kickers. There's a lot of guys that really have no interest in actually doing the work to fix their marriage. They just want to bitch and moan. Like, that's not what these sessions are for. So I have to charge for it just to make sure that the people who are serious, right? He says, thanks for reading this, man. I hope you'll use my story to help other guys who might be in the same boat. Mike. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, Mike. I really do appreciate it. And I'll end on this, guys. The biggest thing I see with guys in your position, Mike, is you're focused on your wife and what she's doing or not doing. You're focused on your wife and what she's doing or not doing. You have to stop doing that. You got to let go of any kind of attachment to outcome with your wife, okay? Because it means that you're operating in her frame. If you're overly concerned with, am I doing this tactic? Is she responding the way I hope? You're operating in her frame. And if she doesn't operate or act in a way that you're anticipating, you're going to get frustrated. Okay. And then you're going to lose your shit. And then it's going to all go to hell in a handbasket. You don't want to do that. Forget about what she's doing. Focus on you. Okay. You need to focus your attention and intention on you, and start working on being the absolute best version of yourself, regardless of if she comes back around or not. That's the stay plan is the same as the go plan, and you have to focus on you. It's the only shot you. Okay, I'm back. Did you guys, man, what happened there? It's like I lost the internet dropped or something. Anyway, so what I was saying was you need to focus your attention on you. It's the only shot you have at turning this around. We say the stay plan is the same as the go plan. Okay. That's all we got, guys. These streams are going to be very short. If you guys want to sponsor a video, you guys are going to get a dedicated video. Go to video.comeonmanpod.com, sponsor a video, especially if you have a question, you want me to answer it. And they're only going to be like 24, 30 minutes or so at max anyway. And then I'm going to probably stack them in the evenings if I get a whole bunch of them. And then if I get too many of them, then I'll start doing them on Thursdays as well. This is all a new thing, but that's all we got, guys. If you want to sponsor a video, like I said, go to video.comeonmanpod.com. Otherwise, tune into the podcast tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I'm going to be talking about how your past relationships actually shape your future relationships. Should be a fun one. Also, don't forget, this Saturday, the Wolfpack is having our monthly pod class. Brother Kamal is going to be teaching us about crypto. If you've been thinking about getting into the crypto market and don't know where to start, join the pack now. Yeah, it cut out the last 60 seconds or so. Yeah, I'm back now though, right? I'm back now though, right? You guys can see me. Monday morning, when I went to go do the live stream Monday morning, right before the whole internet went out. The whole internet went out. I had to reboot my router. It was Monday was crazy, man. But guys, like I said before, get in Wolfpack because we're having our private pod class for the Wolfpack members this Saturday. So go to wolf.commonmanpod.com for that. We do have a super chat here. Brother Kamal with 249 euros. Loving this format. Great advice. Cool. Well, tune in every Tuesday. I'm going to have these in the evening for those. But because you're a Wolfpack brother, I'm going to bump this up to the $10 super chat. I'm going to give you the booty shaking video.
Super chat, we'll see you there. Shake it, dance without a care. Send it love from everywhere. Groovy beats we all can share. No support, it's so divine. Moving closer to the line. Thank you, you're the best. Party on, we never rest.
And demonetized, but that's okay. This was a sponsored video. So I'm just looking through the chat here. John Egan says, been there. Okay, so you've been where that guy's at. So many men are in the dead bedroom. It's great that there is a way to get that back. I agree, man. Like, man, if we can save some of these marriages, that's awesome. Not all of them can be saved, but at least we're making a concerted effort. Handsome Pete says I froze up and the video cut out the last 60 seconds. John thought it was his internet connection. Nurse Chick's in the house. She says, afternoon, gentlemen. Nurse Chick, you get this because we all know.
So naughty.
She is.
I'm gonna come.
I am. And guys, if you didn't know, Nurse Chick's book drops this weekend. Let me see if I can grab the link for it here. If you guys didn't know, Nurse Chick wrote a book for the Whammon, and it's called. Oh, yeah, that's fine. I was gonna say her book. It looks like I thought her account got locked out. I was like, what the hell happened? What did you do, Nurse Chick? Anyway, here's her book. It's called Bellies Full, Balls Empty. Bellies Full, Balls Empty, a bold feminine guide to winning love, inspiring devotion, and creating a deep, passionate relationship with a masculine man who leads. She's talking about this guy over here, guys. All right, that's all we got. We will see you guys tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning for the live stream. It's Breakup Wednesdays. You guys are going to love it. Other than that, we'll see you next time.